Well, this was fun. I wish I figured out that live sooner or how we can do it, but we can goof around with it next time.
Yeah,
And if you see any random lives from me, people out there during the week, don't just scroll past it or let me know that it was out there so I know I got
that it's
something
working.
figured out. Yeah. But is there anything else? Yeah, you have it on your mind? I don't know. There were some other things. We'll bring it up next time. Or maybe have you ever heard of Henry? The term Henry? You heard of DINK, right?
Of what?
DINK?
Dink?
Yeah.
No.
Dual income, no kids.
Oh, yeah, 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 I have.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen
Yeah.
that.
And then, but
Yeah.
have you heard of Henry?
No.
So it's high earner, not rich yet. So there's these people that are the younger generation that are high income earners, but they
Hmm.
just feel like they're not, you know, really getting ahead. I guess they're making six figures, and they're just kind of
And paycheck to paycheck.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
pretty incredible.
yeah, yeah.
I
But
have I have a family member who's lived that way, and it's mind blowing. But I
well,
mean, some people find a way to spend it. I don't know.
oh, I found many ways to spend it before, but now I'm like, yeah, trying to sell off all kind of gym equipment, and now I realize, like, man, should have, yeah. I mean,
It's time that you're just gonna let yourself go now. You don't need the gym.
no, no,
Just
it's
gonna
just
be the cat man that you are.
no. Now I really have an idea, like what equipment I can that I could get by, like that I need. There's other
Hmm.
stuff that I just bought, like, oh yeah, this looks cool. I'm gonna use this, and I did. I mean, I use it. It's just like I don't need to figure out a way to do an exercise 10 different ways. I guess.
Yeah. Sadly, the gym that I go to has decided to close, and so they're auctioning off all of their gym equipment.
Oh, well, there's a site you could probably buy it and resell
I
it or
know,
something.
but that stuff is yeah, you could buy and resell, but where are you going to store it?
Yeah.
Like that stuff is massive, so it takes up a lot of space. I mean, maybe you could do a couple things, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they have. I mean, everything from, I mean, I guess I could do the smaller stuff like the ropes and weighted balls and foam rollers and stuff like that. Like they're right now on the auction for like $1. So it
Oh,
would be, I mean, even some of the machines I think are only at like $50 but the auction ends I think at the end of November, and so I don't know. I've checked it out, but sadly
yeah.
I don't have a gym to go to anymore.
Well, that's that one, but that's one cool thing that came from all the lockdowns was all these gym or equipment manufacturers started coming out with a lot of home gym equipment that are
Hmm.
more versatile now. So instead of like you go to the gym, this machine might do one exercise,
Hmm.
whereas now you have a lot of these home gym items that are multifaceted, where they can convert into something that performs three or four different functions. So that was, that's kind of why too. I mean, I really have I know kind of specifically what items that I would probably put in my new gym if I had one.
So you're gonna
Just to,
sell off what you have and then get new
no,
equipment?
well, I mean,
Yeah.
if I do plan to move to my parents' house, I haven't brought up the idea of bringing some of the stuff into the garage yet. So I don't know yet. I mean, they would have the space. It's just they would have to park their cars outside. So
Mm.
I don't know, but it would only be maybe two big, like the rack and the cable machine would be what I would bring, and then the bars and stuff. But so
Well,
that's
you
what I
could
got to
just,
figure
I
out.
mean, if you're gonna rent out your house, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Just don't include the garage and then just keep it as your gym.
Yeah, but I don't want to drive here to use it. So it's like I'd rather,
Well, true.
yeah, I'd rather just. It's almost like I'd rather have a clean slate. Get rid of a lot of this stuff
Hmm.
and just simplify things and it's kind of like now I know what I really want and need, I guess, from equipment wise. And
Hmm.
yeah. But the hard part too is even when I try to sell stuff, a lot of people don't know what I have. Like they don't know, they've never seen it before. So I have a lot of unique,
Unique
like,
items.
yeah, like there's people that know what they are. It's just there are very few people that know what this, particular bar is used for or a piece of equipment. So it's like it's very limited amount of people that inquire about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because they see it on, they might see it on Facebook Market and they just have no idea what it is. And this,
It's hard to sell.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I said we can talk about Henry next time. I didn't know if I said that way. Now you can look it up a little bit more. I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a
Um,
term floating around.
I saw there was another one, another kind of related to DINK, dual income, no kids. It might be like not no retirement, but almost like dual income, no kids, and just like spend everything, like
Uh-huh.
die with nothing kind of thing. But I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
what the name for that was. But yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting out there, kind of how many people are seeing the world a little bit differently nowadays.
Yeah. I think that's hard to find relatable content when you do find someone like a that's dual income with no kids and you're like, oh, well that's why they're able, like they have all this flexibility and they have all this income and like they're living a completely different lifestyle. And it's hard when you're like, oh, but I want to have roots somewhere and I don't want to just move around everywhere and I want to be able to spend time with my kids and stay home or
Yeah.
have a certain type of lifestyle as a family. And then it makes it really hard to find very many people who are breaking ahead, who are still trying to live that more traditional family dynamic.
Yeah. I mean that's part of it too, like why I want to get financially free, but also, you know, kind of that question of whether you should give your child a better start or whatnot. But part of it is, somewhat being selfish, I guess, is if I can provide more for him and he's more comfortable with starting a family at a younger
Mm-hmm.
age or having children at a younger age, then that just allows me more time or to be younger when having the opportunity to maybe play with my grandkids. And, part of
Right.
that is, yeah, my dad, like I talk about it before, my dad had a stroke. So he's been somewhat paralyzed on one side, but so he's never really had the opportunity to play with his grandkids at 100%, right? So, I mean, he plays
Mm-hmm.
with them to the best of his ability, but he's never had that opportunity to really, and, part of that, I mean, I don't blame myself, but part of that is maybe I never, I had kids, I had a child late in life and, that didn't give him the opportunity to play at a younger age and enjoy that. And so that's kind of where I look at it is maybe if I give my son that
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to feel comfortable, like, oh, he's financially stable or has, a certain amount of income, then, starting a family is not that stressful. And then,
Yeah. And I
yeah,
think we mentioned it before too, financially stable or just not with amount of debt, I
yeah,
mean, you could, if you're just break even, that feels more stable than where a lot of people are in their 20s coming out of college, where it it feels I was married in college and we still even made the conscious decision to be like, this is not a good time to have a kid. Like we're racking up debt, we're fully focused on trying to build careers and having to choose to wait, even later. And then you get out of college and you're like, well, now we're not even anywhere close to being financially set up. Like now we have the payments and now we have um we're trying, we're at the lowest tier on the pay scale when it comes to our careers and stuff like that. And so it it just delays it even more. And if you it felt like if we were just at zero and didn't have the negative behind us, that even it would have been easier then.
yeah, yeah, great point. And even like you talked about, like having that family support, right? Like if, you in a better situation yourself, and your child, like I said, moves away or starts a family somewhere else, you have that flexibility to follow them or be close to
Yeah.
them where you can help them out.
Yeah. And that was the way it was. My dad taught and coached, so we did move schools fairly often, I think 3 or 4 times throughout my like primary education. And my grandma, his mom, did follow. And she worked, she had more of an entrepreneurial drive, I think, than anyone else in my family. So she did some uh, sewing and crafting on the side, where I remember going to craft shows and she would sell at those big like expo centers, and we would go do that sometimes. But she also, did the worked at restaurants and stuff like that. So she would just had the flexibility to follow wherever we went, and then that provided the support for us, for my parents to have childcare whenever they needed it. And my parents have not followed me everywhere, and I do not have child support. So it's a very different or child care support. So it's very different to bring my son along with me with everything that I do. But you know, gotta make do.
Yeah. Well, and then you're going to relocate and,
Do it again.
yeah, figure it out somewhere else.
Yeah. We Nathan got on to the next round of the that grant, that
Oh,
the remote work grant for relocating. So potentially have $10,000 up in the air to relocate and maybe get another house.
nice.
We'll see how
All
that
right.
goes. I think his
Yeah.
interview's on Monday.
Cool. Well, always fun. Yeah, I wish I figured out that YouTube stuff. So it'll be fun trying to do it
Yeah.
live, and that way, maybe we can promote a little bit so we can have at least some people watching it when we do it. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we
you
might
can
need
do a
to be
dance
careful.
intro,
We'll
maybe.
be going live at the same time as Zuber, right?
Oh, that's why we gotta do it right after and tell people,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
tune in here for a recap or something.
Yeah, we can just talk about whatever he talked about.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, that
Yeah.
would be good. We might need to do a test run and see how it works before, but then we could promote it. That I'd like that.
Yeah. So, yep, get your dancing shoes on and then you can intro it. And
Oh my gosh.
all right. Well, thanks
Thanks.
again. Yeah, it was always fun. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.